doing something just a little bit different, which sees me venturing to the outside world. Now, before we get into the fun stuff, just a super quick reminder that this year's videos of Festivity are supporting the Macmillan Cancer Support Charity. It's a wonderful charity that gives help and aid to people going through cancer who need financial, emotional, mental, any kind of support they need. It's a wonderful team who do amazing things for people with life-changing conditions. So please, anything you can give, big, small, little, or whatever, please follow the link down in the top of the description box or on the card on the screen now and give as much or as little as you can. Every little helps. Thank you for being so generous this festive time. We're going to be heading off to London to check out the Hidden City's Christmas-themed games. Now, if you don't know, Hidden City is a walking kind of walkabout tour around London. They have 4 games designed to take you around different parts of London, to see bits of London you wouldn't necessarily see, to venture into places that you maybe wouldn't think to venture into, and just kind of explore the general area. I've done them before, they're great fun. I think they're a really cool way to see different parts of London and kind of experience feeling like you're kind of on a secret mission that no one else knows about and experience a bit more around the world and the locations that you're in. So they're really good fun. I've done them before and I do think they're a great idea. I'm going to link to them down in the description box in case you are interested. Like I said, they have 4 games and they run all year round. But during the month of December, if you book, each game has a Christmassy twist to them. Now, knowing this, I thought what better way than to experience a Christmassy twist than to go and take on an adventure myself. Disclaimer, I have played the Sherlock game before, which is the game I'm playing today, but it was like 6-7 years ago. I'm half intrigued how different it is, how frequently they update the games, if indeed they change anything, or if the games are kind of one-playable. I'm also intrigued to know how Christmassy Christmas is. So please come along and join me and my friend Emma, whose links to Instagram are down in the description as well, if you fancy going and checking her out, as we take on Moriarty's game, Christmas edition. I don't want to give away all of the answers, all of the locations, all of the spoilers, just in case you want to play, because I'll admit now, having played it, it's a different location, it's a very similar, if not the same game. So not that I remembered answers or knew the riddle puzzles, but like the final puzzle, I kind of knew how that was. I didn't know the answer, I couldn't remember the answer, but I knew you kind of had to do a thing, and I knew how that worked, so I kind of let Emma do that as well. And the second puzzle we ended up doing wasn't the same location, wasn't quite the same, but in essence was the same as it was 5 years ago. So I'm not going to show everything. I'm going to try and redact as many answers that we give in this video as possible, just so if you do indeed want to go and do it, and you've watched this video, you don't know everything and know what you've got to do and know where you're going. Predominantly based on walking places, following clues to different locations, and then getting your next answer, taking an answer from wherever you are, and using that to get the next clue. This game had 3 stop-off points. Every game has stop-off points because they give you a chance to get a drink, or some food, or just chill, or have a break. You can pause the game at any time. It is timed, but the fun thing about it is you get text. All of your clues, all of the information. So there's no one with you. It's very kind of self-run, self-led. You'd have to wait for a guide or a character to come and find you. You just kind of follow the clues along as you get the texts. And it feels like you're talking to the people as well as you go. We've been texted by someone new, and that someone new is Dr. John Watson. Unbelievable. We are being recruited by everybody here. We started off at the Marylebone pub near Baker Street to find our first clues that Professor Moriarty was looking for some potential candidates to work with him. And would we pass the test? Would we be good enough? Would we be able to solve the first riddles? Maybe. Very much the way this worked is you kind of solve a puzzle where you are and then you move on. The very interesting thing, so the start location is exactly the same for the Sherlock game as it was 5 years ago when I did it. When I did it 5 years ago, they actually handed us a physical book, not the journal. It was like a book of botanics or something, and we had to go through the book. I think the clues we were getting had numbers, and those numbers related to pages, lines, words, and we basically had to work through the book. So rather than having it on my phone and having to scroll like I did with Emma, we had a physical book that you could open and you had to search through. I don't know how I preferred it. I think I preferred having the physical thing because it's always cooler to have a thing. The pub, when we went, was super mega busy. And I can understand as well, like trying to keep track of getting back to the book to the bar and taking that away and finding space to sit and work with the book. I can understand that might be a bit difficult. Plus I can see COVID having an impact on this, whereas the less things you have to give people that they pass around, then the better it is in terms of being able to continue playing this game and not having to worry about spreading unwanted or unnecessary germs around. So I can understand why they've gone down this route, but I don't know, I prefer having the tangible thing in my hand. Another thing to note, we took the last slot of the day to play this game. 6:30 to 7:30 was our start time. We got to the second stop, which is where they give you an hour to get some food and to like relax for a bit and take a break. But when we got there, we also received a text saying that we had to be at final location by 9:45, and that we had 5 clues left before we were at final location. I think we're going to keep moving on because we've also had a text saying we've got about 45 minutes or an hour or something to get to our last place. We've still got 5 clues to solve. So I think we're going to like keep moving onwards. Is the downside of starting these games late in the night, but everything's still been open that we need to get to. The game in total took us just over 2 hours. We got time penalties because we got stuck. It took us just over 2 hours, I think, 2.5 hours to do. I can't remember, I'll put the time on the screen because I have a text message with our end time in it. But I kind of feel like if you've got a cut-off time for the last location to let you in, or last orders, or whatever that time cap was for, maybe don't let us start that close. If you as the game player are concerned that we're not gonna make it to the end, maybe don't allow us to start that late. The only thing is that there was supposed to be a discount coupon at this place and they didn't have any left, which is possibly a foresight between them and the Hidden City games. So just a point of reference, but the later you come, I kind of feel like the more you've got a bit of a hurry along to get things done. It's slightly annoying because it kind of felt like we booked this and Hidden City knew this was the time we were gonna do it, this was the day we were gonna do it. So you kind of feel like there needs to be some kind of communication between the establishment of where you're sending us and Hidden City to say, hey, you've got 25 people due today. Make sure you have 25 of the things. I don't know what the thing was because we never got it. So that was a little bit, I mean, it didn't ruin anything. It was just a little bit annoying that it was a thing we were supposed to get and we never got it because they'd run out. And it was just another one of those things after we got the time crunch and it was like, okay, well, we can't really stop. We had to keep going. I think we maybe took a 5-minute toilet break at that point and then just carried on. Maybe if it's gonna get that tight, and like I appreciate the first place we went was super busy. That's just because it was 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening around Christmas time. There were lots of Christmas parties going on when we were walking around as well because that's why lots of places were busy. So I can understand kind of like you have to accommodate for the fact that the establishment you're going to or sending us to might be busy, but at the same time, if it is gonna be tight, if you've got a 3-hour game, because if we'd have started at 7:30 and that had taken us 3 hours, we wouldn't have got to Final Destination in time. We'd have been half an hour late. We'd have been 45 minutes late. So don't give me the option to start that late if that's too late to start, if that makes sense. That's kind of the biggest feedback I give. Because it did feel like at the end as well, in the last few clues, when we were running around and we kept getting lost and I was getting stressed. We kind of yarded through a couple of them and actually by chance found where we needed to go, and luckily there was a colour clue and we saw the colour, so kind of just ran at that and hoped for the best. Luckily it was the right place. But the last couple of clues I felt were a bit stressed, a bit rushed, couldn't really follow. I was more willing to just take the clues at that point or take the hints, which is why we ended up with quite a big time penalty. They think it's going to take you 3 hours and their final start time is under 3 hours away from the final call, final entry, whatever it is, of the final establishment. I feel like that needs tweaking, just so you don't feel pressured, you don't feel rushed. You feel like you can stop when you have the breaks, you feel like you can have a bit of food, you can chill, you can relax. Which I did kind of feel at points we didn't really have. Another thing to say is it rained. We got a bad day for weather. It was cold and it was rainy and a lot of it is outside. You can change the date and time and start time of your game as many times as you want, right up until I think there's maybe 2 hours before you can't change it. I can't remember that. I'll correct that on the screen. You're about to head off to go to start your game and you're like, the weather is absolutely diabolical out there. Be known that all of the games are predominantly outside. The predominance of the game is walking around following the direction clues. Even the other ones I've done are the same. Be aware that when you're playing the game, you're gonna be outside a lot, you're gonna be walking around a lot. We just so happened to get lost as the heavens opened. And it wasn't just heavens opened, the heavens and the wind came, and everything just collided in a catastrophe of cold and yuck and blah. Other things to keep note, make sure you've got a power block for your phone, because that's how you're getting your clues. So you need to make sure, like, I've done these before, and yeah, that's the one thing I forgot. So it's like a really important thing to make sure you've got hold of. And also sensible shoes, because you're walking around a lot. They're probably like the big takeaways. Alas, it seemed we weren't the only people who were following Moriarty's movements. Some were from the other side of the coin. Physician and associate of Mr. Sherlock Holmes, Scotland Yard believes that you're in contact with the organizer of all that is evil in the city.
Oh, wow.
What an assumption, John. Like, we are good girls.
We are innocent.
We would not be associated with people like that.
No.
Oh my God, not us.
No.
Oh my God. Naturally, they've passed your case on to us. Mr. Holmes and I could use your help tracking him down. So you have a choice to make. Are you willing to assist us and double-cross this mastermind? Text Sherlock. Should you desire to enter a life of crime, text Moriarty.
Oh, God.
Which way do you want to go?
I'm in bad all the way.
You're in for Moriarty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for the criminal life. Look at me.
All right, we're going to decline John Watson's unprofound but very sweet offer of working.
I feel like we have a long-term relationship with Moriarty. Mozza. We've even got nicknames for each other.
Okay, let's tell him then. Moriarty.
Now I gotta put it straight. I've played the game twice. Both times, I was happy to work with Sherlock. But both times, my compatriots did not want to work with Sherlock. So I still don't know what happens if you follow the other route. I don't know if it follows the same locations, but you get different clues. I don't know if it takes you somewhere completely different. I genuinely don't know what happens if you go the other way. So I suppose there was a decision to make. I played the James Bond game as well. There was a decision to make there as well. And I suppose, although that one I'm fairly confident does end up in the same place. I'm pretty confident you end up remembering the game. I'm pretty confident whichever route you take, you end up back at the end. The end point is the same on both routes. So I don't know if it is different in the Sherlock game. I've never done it. So there's a kind of replayability in this one. But I do have to say, having played it 5 years ago, having played it now, I'm not sure the replayability is that high. So knowing they've only got 4 games, and I've played 2 of them, I've probably got 2 more games I can play with them before I don't know if I could play anymore. I feel like I had hoped that it had changed between the last time I played it and this time I played it. I can understand why it wouldn't. And the establishments had changed. The route we took was different, I believe. We definitely ended up in different places. So it is slightly different, but in terms of the game itself, like not to a massive amount that I would say in 6 months I'd play that game with someone else, or I'd feel a want or a desire to play. Unless anyone wants to go down the Sherlock route, then I'll play again. I understand these games take time, they take planning, they take organization. You've got to get in touch with the establishments, you've got to establish what you want those establishments to do. The people that work there have got to be on board with it. You've got to have anything you need to give them has got to be delivered to them. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying it's as simple as just make a new game, but I feel like they either need more games or they need more change, tweaks to the games, evolutions of the games to make people invested to want to keep going back and playing more. Because I've got 2-3 groups of people who I would play these games with. But like I said, for them it would be great because they get to play it and they haven't played it before. But for me, if I've played one game with one group and one game with another, I can't play the game 2 with group A or game 1 with group B because I know the answers, I know the route, I know what's happening and where you've got to go. So I don't know. It's just a bit of feedback really, because I really enjoy them. I think they're great, and I think they're a really clever, fun way to see more of London and more of London that you maybe wouldn't think of seeing. But there isn't a great deal of replayability, so my custom with them will at some point stop. And between playing the Sherlock games 5 years ago to now, they've added 1 game to their roster. So there were 3 and now there are 4. As someone who wants to keep playing their games, there's a very definitive point for me where I can't do that anymore. So I would like to see more games, or even an evolution of the game, maybe every 6 months. They change the game slightly, tweak it, twist it, change the puzzles. In terms of Christmassy,
it was claimed to be a slightly Christmassy, wintry theme. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't really get the Christmas. It just felt, I've done a couple of these games before myself, and it just kind of felt like,
it just felt very London.
Yeah,
just normal London.
It was, and I mean, some of the places we saw, like Selfridges, was all Christmassy and pretty, and there was some really, obviously the gingerbread clue.
Yeah, that's true.
That obviously wouldn't be there all year round, so
it kind of felt like they were just changing normal clues to include their Christmas editions rather than it being Christmas themed.
Which I think, in their defense, is what it kind of said. It was a Christmas version of their game, so they are just evolving the game that pre-exists. But I feel like, to me, I wanted it to be a bit more, for a Christmas edition, I wanted it to be a bit more Christmassy.
If I'd done it before and I was doing a Christmas edition, I would be a bit like, eh.
Yeah.
I get what they were trying to do with it. I really do. And I appreciate that all they're doing is evolving games that are pre-existing. And I almost wish, when I got the email through that they had Christmas games, I thought it was a full-on new game for Christmas. And even if you do that and just run it for the month of December, I think that's better, because you can utilize the Christmas decorations, which you see around. They definitely did that. The walk-around clues were just more themed towards look at this Christmas display rather than tell me the street name, if you're following. So it didn't feel Christmassy. It felt like you were just playing a walk-around tour and you were spotting Christmas things as you went. So in terms of it being a Christmassy festive thing to do, kind of missed the bar for me on that one. I would have preferred a completely fresh, just for December, here's a Christmas game, help Santa and his elves deliver presents around London, or I don't know, find Santa, he's gone missing, or the angel from the top of the tree has been captured by the Snow Queen and you got to go and save her. Sense of direction, slightly key thing to have in this game.
It turns out we always trust Emma.
Thank you.
Emma's sense of direction is much better than mine.
Oh my god, you should not say that on TV.
Well, I mean, I wanted to go over there, but we need to go over here, and it was Emma's idea to come over the road, so
Such a difference.
apparently the road is a brook. Who knew?
Yeah.
It's rock and roll.
We did okay. We did okay following the directions. I feel like the one we tripped up on was a bad clue. And even like, the good thing about it is, since playing the game, Hidden City have emailed me and said, there was one clue you got properly stuck on. Can you just talk us through why you got stuck? So we can try and improve the game, try and improve the clue. And I really like that. I think that's the best way to get feedback is, okay, people keep getting stuck on this clue, or okay, these people got stuck on this clue. Maybe it's the way we're wording it. Let's hear from them why they got stuck, and then maybe we can improve the game moving forward. So I really like that. I like the fact that I actually need to reply to that email. I mean, some of them were really clever. Like, there was one clue that was like 6 up then, or 6 plus 1 up. And it was 6 steps and then 1 step on its own. It was just little things like that. You're like, that's so clever. Or some of the clues for the street names were so clever. I thought they were really cool. I just think it's very imaginative, it's very creative, it's very, very cool. And it makes you look up. The amount of times you're walking around London and you're like this, or you're just like not looking around you, not looking about, it forces you to look up because you're looking for street names, you're looking for visual indicators, you're looking for all these things that you maybe don't normally look out for. So I just think it's great.
It's your responsibility now to not get me killed.
Yep.
But what did you think of the game?
I thought it was really good. We went down some really nice streets that I'd never been before. I loved the feeling when you figure out a clue. You feel so damn smart.
Especially the ones with the street names.
Yeah.
When you're like, ah. We had a couple of really clever ones as well.
And when you hit multiple in a row, you're like bang, bang, bang.
You feel really good that you've aced your way through it and like sped through it. You're like, I'm going to do this in record timing.
When you're stuck, you feel like the dumbest idiot in the whole world.
Yep.
But when you've made it, you feel like you could conquer anything. And I guess that's the point of it. You're not supposed to get every clue. There is help if you need it. And when we did need it once or twice.
I mean, we took some wrong turnings.
Yeah. I think in a less stormy conditions, I wouldn't mind being stuck.
Yeah, no, I'd have probably been happy to give it a few more attempts if we hadn't been literally battered by the wind, rain, and everything at that one point.
Yeah.
It's almost like it knew we were stuck.
Yeah, and sometimes we got ahead of ourselves. But
We just skipped clues. He should have rewarded us for efficiency.
And, yeah. I know, I really enjoyed it. I would totally do it again. And I'm definitely not taking this the right way.
No, we're just walking aimlessly now. Oh, good. No, we are good. We don't need Moriarty. Who needs him? In terms of the stop points, obviously we didn't stop for very long, but we had the first point which started in the bar, which we did have a drink at. The second stop point was obviously that. Really, I've never been there. I didn't even know it was there. It was really cool.
It's a proper stopping point. You can stop for food there. You can stop for
and there was some.
drinks.
It seemed like there was some stuff to shop around as well.
Yeah, and I think it's nice sometimes when you have to speak to the staff and get something from them. It feels like you're being a bit more involved.
Although her telling me we were a bit late for our poison problem was
the
slightly alarming.
Ran out.
Yeah, we had run out of that as well.
So top tip: do it earlier in the day.
Yeah, if you can. We took the last start slot of the day, so they give you an hour to start. And I would say if you can, try and start a little bit earlier, just because, I mean, also at the end, we did find we were feeling a little bit rushed for time to get to that, because we got a text saying, you've got to be in the last place by 9:45, and we got there about 9:30. So we were pushing it, but I think because of that, we then didn't stop.
Yeah.
We didn't have any food in the food stop point, and that was our 60-minute break window. I think we were there for like 5.
Yeah, we ate into that quite a lot. So give yourself more time. Start earlier.
Yep.
And preferably do it in nicer weather.
When it's not absolutely chucking it down. But all in all, you get to see some pretty cool places in London. I think I enjoyed it, apart from getting lost in the rain. But it wasn't too bad in the end.
It was really good. Yeah.
Which one do you want to do next? There's 3 more. 007. There's an Enchanted Mirror or Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, maybe Alice in Wonderland actually.
Maybe we will embark on the Alice in Wonderland again
in the spring,
in the near future when it's warmer and we're not going to get blattered by the rain and have to wear like 7 layers to stay warm. I fully recommend Hidden City. I fully recommend Moriarty's game. I fully recommend the 007 one as well, and I'm going to recommend the other 2 even though I've not played them. Maybe I will in the future for sure. They're great fun. I think they're wonderful. Just be aware of the weather when you're doing them. I've done a couple now in not so nice weather, and it does just get to the point where you're at the end, you're like, I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm tired, I just like to be there now. So, you know, they're very cool games. They're very creative, very imaginative. I only wish and hope Hidden City can give us some more games, so I have plenty more to play through moving forwards. If you've played a Hidden City game, please let me know which one, no spoilers, but tell me the name of the game you've played and let me know your thoughts on it. I'd be really interested to hear if you have. Again, not underestimating how difficult and how much logistics have to go into all of this, but I feel like they're so good. They're so good I want more, is kind of the simple answer, and it makes me sad that I've only got 2 more to play. So that's it for today. A bit of a different one, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the videos of Festivity so far. There are still plenty more to come, so make sure you're subscribed if you're enjoying them. Also, some gaming videos still sporadically coming up, so also keep an eye out for those. Also, if you want to support Emma, she's a wonderful person, a lovely friend, and an amazing photographer. I'm going to link her Instagram down in the description below, so if you want to go and send her a little bit of love, she was my my guide in times of unable to work out clues. She was great, and hopefully we can do more stuff with her on the channel in the future. But for now, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been an absolute blast, as always. If you enjoyed this video, go show that like button some Moriarty love. And if you want to support the channel, go hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss next time I upload a video. Stay awesome, and I will see you all in the next video!
Yeah, this definitely feels like we've been taken to like the seedy underside of London, where Moriarty's about to appear and be like, look, shoot your friend, or your friend's gonna shoot you, kind of thing.
You're gonna say your friend or a stranger?
I mean, are you shooting me or am I shooting you?
I don't know.